Welcome everybody to the direct banking update session. Andre will take us away later on to show all the updates we have created in the app. And Andre will also show quickly how the flow will run in direct banking with the W1 version. If you have any questions related to the presentation of Andre, please add them to the question tab, and we'll come back to that in the end of the session.
Co-base multi-entity. In this release, we introduced the co-base multi-company support. This means you can have one co-base environment with banking accounts from multiple business central companies. You can set up the connection in one of the companies by enabling the single company entity. The matching entry table. From the first direct banking release, we introduced the matching entry table. In this table, we stored the records of all created customers and vendor ledger entries. Each posting of vendor or customer invoices are registered in this entry table. In previous versions, all the entries did not match because the linked matching entry did not exist. In this release, we create the records in the matching entry table based on the open ledger entries of customers and vendors in your business center company. The creation of the records is performed with the first installation of the direct banking extension. Factbox, video and manuals. Find your topics, questions when using the help from our product, and do check the Factbox demo videos on AppSource or in the setup pages of our products. In this release, we added the additional information from the bank statement lines in the import. If you want to add this information in the remittance information of your financial journal, you do not have to consider setup for this. It's automatically supported when processing and reconciliation takes place. You can find and see this additional information in the transaction archive or the transaction lines when you import the statement lines from Ponto. The additional information can be helpful to reconcile your outstanding customer and vendor ledger entries. In the direct banking account card, you can disable this function if the additional information is not relevant. Then you will see if the import and the reconciliation takes place. The additional information lines will not be processed and shown in the bank journal again. Well, what we're now going to show you is not new for this release, but in the direct banking, you have the possibility to use the NL version or the W1 version. So it's again, let's say for the W1 version, just to know that you have a reconciliation for the payment application or the bank reconciliation. Well, it's just another type of showing how to reconciliate in the W1. If we just process a transaction with the payment application setup, it will go to the payment reconciliation journal. And in the reconciliation journal, you will see your vendor ledger entries and your customer ledger entries. And when you're correctly processed, this will also be then accepted, and you can apply and post your badge. Going back to the direct banking setup, you have also the possibility to go to the bank reconciliation configuration. And if you put this on the reconciliation part of bank reconciliation, you will have two different options. You have the open bank reconciliation and open reconciliation journal. If there are ledger entries from the vendor, this will directly be in the bank reconciliation. So if pick the same statement line, I will process it in the bank. And now that same line is not in the payment reconciliation journal, but in the bank account reconciliation and applied against the bank account. So this is the main difference between the two settings. I hope this is clear for everyone. The idyn help function to the year solution. In Business Central, we updated the links of the help to this new environment.
Just wrap it up what Andre just mentioned. We have the possibility for the Cobase portal to have multiple accounts into Business Central. That's what we fixed. So if you have multiple bank accounts in different companies, we can handle that quite easily with the Cobase platform. But Andre also showed that some banks are starting to use the second remittance information field, what's available within the Ponto platform. And that second field is also coming into Business Central, and you can join the original remittance information with the second remittance information into Business Central to one field, and you can use, of course, the regex functionality to filter the data, or you can use it, of course, it will be used for automatic reconciliation within direct banking. It's depending on the bank what kind of information they will add to this second field. So that's basically up to the bank. So we see some difference. For example, we see now PayPal adding invoice information, invoice number in the second field. But definitely interesting to use, but it's depending on banks. Aldo also mentioned the update of the help text with Confluence. So help videos are available in the setup card of direct banking. And he showed you quickly the flow when we use the W1 version of direct banking that we synchronize with the payment journal of the bank reconciliation journal. I can imagine you have some questions about that, or you want to have an additional demo, just reach out to us to the sales@idyn.nl for that we can help you. We received one question that was related to when do I use the Cobase platform for my customer, or when I use the Ponto platform for my customer. Now, if we start with Ponto, Ponto is quite easily a solution, but it has some limitation. Easily because you can onboard online, your customer can create an account, can add the bank accounts into the Ponto account and start using or implementing Business Central. It's all online, so it's quite easily to do. It's fast. It's also cheap. It costs you about, for your customer, €4 per bank account per month. And if you have more than 10, it's from the 11th one, it's €2 per bank account per month. So it's a very easy, feasible solution for a lot of customers, but it has some limitations. Ponto is dealing with European banks only in the EU zone. Except then for the UK, they were coming back to the Ponto platform, UK banks. They support only IBAN payments, so from an IBAN number to another bank account in IBAN. So it's really limited to Europe because it's based on European legislation from Brussels. The PZ2 law what's in place. If we compare that to Cobase, Cobase is much more flexible. They can connect any bank in the world. They have the infrastructure for doing that. So they can connect to banks all over the world, and they can handle all kind of payments. So you can do in national payments from IBAN to IBAN, in different currencies to non-IBAN numbers, what we call then international payments. They support all of that in their platform. And the big advantage is that Cobase have an own payment platform where you can authorize the payments quite easily as a user. But if you want to know more about that, we can show you later with some examples of the Cobase portal. The second question was about the general ledger, the customer and vendor matching entry table. So in the first version of direct banking, you have to wait when direct banking was installed for the payments. The invoices were posted with direct banking in the database. For the automatic reconciliation, so that took a while based on the payment term that the customer will have. But from now on, if you install direct banking, automatically all open invoices from vendors and from customers, the matching table will be filled in the background automatically. That means if one of those customers pay the next day, we have the automatic reconciliation function working in direct banking. So that was the last questions. Again, sorry for the sound, but we're going to make it up to you. We will send the recording with including sound, and hopefully you join us on the next session for Connected 365. Have a nice day. Bye bye.